Hello. Welcome on back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well. I am so excited for today's video because on my good friend Angel, I am creating a look inspired by the icon herself, Miss Xtina Aguilera. Now this is a look I have been wanting to do for the longest time now, so a huge shout out to One Size for partnering up with me for this video and for allowing me to take this from an idea and turn it into a reality. So without further ado, if y'all want to learn how I created this look right here, then keep on watching. So to begin, I'm using the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream to prep our model's skin. Since we'll be using a powder foundation today, I really want to make sure Angel's skin is super plump and hydrated, which will give us the best results at the end. So I'm taking my time with this step and being pretty generous with the amount of moisturizer I use. And you know what else I've really been loving from Tatcha lately is their the dewy serum they have. It is a serum, so it is a little thinner of a formula than the cream, but it's just as hydrating and makeup looks really beautiful on top of it. Once we have this moisturizer worked in, I'm going to use the One Size Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer to further prep Angel's skin. And I'm focusing this application in areas of the face where I know she tends to get oily throughout the day, which is in the T-zone area. Also, makeup always tends to crease around her mouth and laugh lines, so I'm being sure to apply this in that area too. This primer is great if you're somebody who struggles with fine lines or texture or even large pores, because this will fill those right in, giving a smoother and blurred finish. Now that we have the skin completely prepped for the following complexion products, I'm going to conceal the under eyes using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade 22B, which is a light beige kind of shade. I'm placing this concealer on the under eye area along with a tad amount on the lid. You don't have to get too caught up with the shape you create when applying this. If you like to draw, a precise triangle shape and all that, go for it. But really, it doesn't matter much to me here because I'm going to end up blending and diffusing it all out anyways with a makeup sponge. So my goal here is just to get the product onto the face to conceal and brighten the eyes, and we'll be a little bit more precise later on with the powders. And truly, if you don't have much darkness to conceal around the eyes, you don't even need concealer because the foundation powders we use later on are medium to full coverage. But in this case, Angel really loves a bright under eye and loves concealing the darkness around her eyes, which to this day I still don't understand because I tell her all of the time that I'd kill to have her eyes. I'm obsessed with that natural smokiness her eyes have, but it's her face, and if this is what she likes, I'm gonna make her happy. But once we have that concealer blended, I'm gonna use the One Size Translucent Ultimate Blurring Setting Powder to set that concealer into place with a powder puff. And you can see here, I'm not using a ton of this, just a light amount to prevent that concealer from creasing or moving around. By the way, if you're wondering what those tapes are on the side of the face, they're face lifting tapes. I should have said that in the beginning, I'm sorry guys. But yeah, Angel and I have been wanting to try this for the longest time, and since we're doing a transformative kind of makeup look today, I thought it'd be the best time to give it a shot. Once I have the makeup all done and I style her hair at the end with extensions and all, the little strings attached to the tape will connect to the back, thus giving us that Xtina snatched and lifted effect. Okay, next I'm using the brand new One Size Turn Up the Base Versatile Foundation Powder, and I'm using a dense face brush to apply this on. Now this product is the main character of today's tutorial. It's been a while since I've been this excited about a product launch, and when I heard One Size was coming out with a foundation powder, I knew it was game over. It's no secret by now that I love powders, but they all don't work the same. So I'm gonna share my experience with this one here. It's buttery, it's buildable, it's blendable, it's bulletproof, and it's blurring. That's the number one thing I love about this powder, is that it literally blurs the skin. I mean, come on. I'm seeing it happen right before my eyes here. Her skin looks incredible. And I'm gonna really zoom in here so you can see everything that I'm seeing up close. It's medium to full coverage, it's 12-hour wear, and there's 32 shades to choose from. The shade I'm using on Angel is Light 4G, and I'll tell you how I came up with choosing this shade. I know One Size has a shade finder quiz on their website, and I wanted to give it a try. Nowadays, I purchase most of my makeup online, like most of us do, right? Since we can't swatch shades in stores. So I wanted to see just how accurate their shade finder was. So off camera, Angel and I filled out the quiz. It took like 10 seconds, and we had to keep in mind that her face and neck are a few shades lighter than her body because she just got back from her vacation. She's been in the sun for the last week, and her face is lighter because of, wearing sunscreen and a hat and all that. Anyways, I say all that to say that it matched her shade and her undertone perfectly. Here I'm adding the shade Medium Dark 4G to contour and bronze up the skin to give some dimension. Of course, you can't see her shoulders and you can't see her chest because of the shirt she's wearing, but by the time I completely apply this foundation on, her face and neck will match the rest of her body, and we can see already her skin looks incredible. I'm applying this shade on with a fluffier brush than before because I'm not looking for too dense of an application. The more full coverage you want, the more dense and compact of a brush or powder puff you'll want to use. Or if you're looking for something more light coverage, you'll just need a large fluffy face brush. But either way, I can't recommend enough when using powder foundations that you make sure your skin is well prepped beforehand. Whether you do that by exfoliating first or just going straight in with a moisturizer or primer like we had done before, because then the powder will have something to grip onto. There's a particular stigma associated with foundation powders and how they can be thought of as looking cakey on skin, but you can see here up close and personal that her skin doesn't look cakey. If anything, this powder really eliminated the look of any pores and completely mattified and blurred the skin, specifically here around the nose and cheeks. It looks really beautiful. Alright, now I'm heading back to the setting powder to bake the under eye area and jawline. And yes, it's more common to use this baking method on top of cream and liquid products, but I'm not necessarily doing this to set the underneath products into place. I'm doing this because I want to brighten these areas of the face and sharpen her contours. Also, we're going to be doing a heavy black smoky eye today, so I needed to place some loose powder underneath the eyes anyways to catch any potential fallout. Alrighty, so for brows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Ebony to fill in and shape her brows. Per usual, I'm going in with the shade that will deepen the color of her brows. She likes that edgy, bold brow look against her light blonde hair, and quite frankly, so do I. I think she really pulls it off well. For a minute there, I almost thought about gluing her brows down and drawing on a really thin brow, such as the one Xtina used to rock back in the day, but I don't know. I decided not to this time. I didn't want the transformation to be too costumey. You know what I mean? I still want it to be realistic and wearable for those who are watching who want to recreate it on themselves. And gluing down brows is not the most realistic to wear out. I'm going far enough here with the face tapes. And by the time I style her hair and everything, it'll be covering the tapes, so you won't be able to see those. It's all about that illusion, baby. It's gonna be so good. Okay, next I'm mixing these two shades from the One Size Visionary eyeshadow palette to create a custom dark, cool toned, grayish, I don't know how else to explain it. Y'all can see here, it's not quite black, but it's the perfect shade to use as the backdrop for the black eyeliner we'll be using next. And I'm applying this on with a large fluffy blending brush because I'm looking for a really diffused and smoky look. I'm not being afraid to buff this up and out. The smokier, the better. This look is definitely inspired by the makeup Xtina had on for her music video for the song Dirty. And if you remember, her eye makeup was super dark and grungy. So don't aim for perfection with this eye makeup. Be a little messy and effortless with it. Once we have this blended up and out on the top lid, I'm also going to bring it down to the lower lash line to smoke out. Now, remember, we're using lots of eyeliner today, so this is just the transition shade. We can always head back to these shades to add more, but at least we have a foundation to work with and we're able to see the direction the eye shape is taking. Now that we have the eyeshadow applied, I'm going to take the One Size Point Made 24-Hour Gel Eyeliner Pencil in the shade Bodacious Black and run this through the lower waterline. You can see here why this is truly one of my most favorite eyeliner pencils to use. It literally glides on, it's super black, and it doesn't move throughout the day. Besides the waterline, I also run this through the lower lashes. This is really important to getting that dark, smoky under eye, is to be sure to get this black pigment in between the lashes as well before smoking it out. To do so, I just take a detail blending brush, dip it into the black eyeshadow we used, and then little by little, blend out that pencil. The more dramatic you want this, the further down you're gonna wanna smoke out this liner, but I'm keeping in mind that I'm still gonna add a good layer of mascara on, so that will add to the drama as well. Now here's where we get to really amp up this look. I'm running that same eyeliner on the upper lash line from the inner corner to the very outer, and you'll see I'm not being too precise with this because I'm gonna smudge it out anyways. That's really the trick with this look, is to not overthink it too much, you know? As I was saying earlier, this isn't supposed to look perfect, so everything we've heard or been taught about precision and perfect eye makeup and perfect everything, we just gotta throw out the back door sometimes and just go with it, man. Does that make sense? It's just makeup. We can't take it too serious. We just gotta have fun with it. And we're gonna build this up a little too. So once I smoke out this pencil, I'll dip back into the black eyeshadow and start building up more depth in the outer corner and crease. Next, with the One Size Point Made waterproof liquid eyeliner pen, I'm gonna run this really tight on both the upper and lower lash line. And yes, you heard me right, we're gonna run it on the lower lash line as well. This is another trick I use to get that really dark lash line, is to run a liquid liner right on top as the last step. And I'll barely smudge it out for that grungy glam look we're going for. This really makes the biggest difference, especially in flash photography. I mean, look at the difference already. She went from looking 2 minutes old in those before shots with the the silly faces she was making to looking like, I mean, I'm just gonna pause this right here. I need a second. The makeup just opens up her eyes and brings out the color, like, wow. Okay, I need to move on. Next, I'm using the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara to run through the upper and lower lashes. This look definitely calls for a thick coat of mascara, maybe even 2 coats of mascara. So don't be shy with it. This isn't a Sunday church look we're creating here. Pack on that mascara and go for it, babe. We're already this far committed with this look. There's no turning back now, so embrace your inner Xtina. Be generous with that mascara, and if you wish, add some lashes on top. Of course, that's the direction I'm gonna take today, so I'm using these synthetic wispy lashes from Ardell and adding them right on top. I use these all the time. I love them because they're really comfortable on the eyes, they look somewhat natural, and they're super affordable. And while we wait for that lash glue to dry, I'm gonna wipe away the powder that we've let bake there for the last few minutes, and as you can see, it wipes right off and leaves behind a slight bit of brightness that looks really beautiful. For the next step, and one of my favorite steps, I'm taking the Turn Up the Base foundation powder again, but this time in the shade Fair 2R, and I'm ever so lightly dusting this onto the under eye area. You've already heard me rant or rave about this product itself earlier, so I'm not gonna go down that road again, but I need to talk about this particular shade, Fair 2R. It is a game changer to brighten the under eyes. I can't express enough how difficult it's been for me over the years to find a foundation powder with a true rosy undertone. Unless you have a really tan to deep skin tone for which you'd want to use a golden or peach undertone instead, a rosy undertone is, in my opinion, the most flattering for the under eye for people with fair to medium skin tones. You're going to be seeing me use a lot of this, mark my words, and you can see here, I haven't used a ton of it, just the slightest amount really makes the biggest difference. Okay, I'm ranting again. Next up, I'm using the blush from this Anastasia Beverly Hills face palette and dusting this onto the cheeks. The brand just came out with these palettes, and so I wanted to give it a try, and the palette shade I'm using is called Off to Costa Rica. I'm really loving the blush shade here. I think it looks really flattering and feminine and soft. Then, with this highlighter from Ofra in the shade Rodeo Drive, I'm gonna add some glow back to the skin by dusting this onto the high points of Angel's cheekbones, her brow bone, down the center of the nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. And I know I've been using this highlighter over and over again these last few tutorials, but why fix something that's not broken? You know what I mean? I haven't seen any new highlighter releases lately. I really enjoy using this one, and until someone here turns me on to another one, this is my go-to for the time being. And what I'm doing here is I'm covering up the remains of that dried down lash glue by running the eyeliner pen right on top. Sometimes the glue can give a cast or a shine, but this is a neat little trick to cover it up. Next, with this lip liner from KKW Beauty in the shade Nude 2, I'm going to trace the border of the lips. Xtina paired her smoky eye with a nude lip, and overlining lips wasn't really all the rage back in the early 2000s as it is today, so I'm not taking this far above her natural lip shape. But I will drag this inward slightly on the corners because you'll see in the next step how I blend it in. For lipstick today, I'm using the new cream lipstick from Huda Beauty in the shade Empress, and I'm applying this on with a lip brush. You can see here that I'm using this to drag that lip liner forward into the center of the lip, and it creates a flawless blend. I know these cream lipsticks are reformulated from the ones they had in the past, and although I can't speak on those because I don't think I had ever tried the old ones, I will say that this lipstick is beautiful. I loved it, Angel loved it, I love the shade, I love the finish of it. It really is the perfect nude color for her skin tone, and paired with this lip liner, chef's kiss. Next up, I'm using the Fix Plus spray from MAC Cosmetics. When using powder foundations, I prefer using fixing sprays rather than setting sprays because they're hydrating and they really melt the powders into the skin. And lastly, I'm using this Lemonhead Spacepaste in the shade Groupie and applying this directly to the center of the lids. It looks like Xtina had a little bit of gloss on the lids to add to that grungy effect in the video, but gloss isn't the most wearable unless it's for photos or for a video shoot or something. But just a little glitter to the center of the upper and lower lids will reflect light, which gives a similar wet effect as gloss. Or of course, you can keep the eyeshadow matte if you'd like, but this officially makes for the final step of this Christina Aguilera inspired makeup look on my naturally beautiful friend. There we have it, kids. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out more of my work on my Instagram at Painted by Spencer. And until next time, I'll see you soon.